Okay, greetings and welcome to another scintillating episode of Pop's Collection. I'm Ron Tweedy. Join me as Pops, and we did it. We saw Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings this weekend, and we are here to tell you our first impressions of the film and whether you should go see it. And after that, we'll get into some spoilery stuff and talk about the film itself. So, welcome.
Yes, welcome everybody. Glad to see you. We unfortunately didn't get to see it together, so you didn't get the opportunity for the van episode.
Yeah.
But when you do get, when this episode's going to be coming out, it's for me a day of excitement because DVD Tuesday and Zack Snyder's Justice League will be coming out.
Okay.
So I am pretty jazzed about that. I'm looking forward to owning it.
Right. Cool.
And this might be a little teaser, but I am looking forward to owning Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Yes, which I thought was pretty interesting in the movie, how he specified that.
Yeah.
You know, so my Shang-Chi just isn't really...
Yeah.
However, definitely, you saw it twice, right?
Yeah. I went and saw it with the guys over at House 317. So I'm sure they'll be doing an episode on that. And then I took the family to go see it Saturday. So yeah, it was definitely worth seeing twice. It was a great film. Without getting into spoilers right now, I would definitely say it's definitely worth a watch in the theater. It's a really fun movie. It really reminds me of a cross between Black Panther and Ant-Man. So if you like either of those films or both of those films, actually, this movie is really, really good movie from that perspective. So that's my ultimate recommendation at this point. So definitely go see.
I had some other similarities.
Yeah.
That brought me to mind, but we'll talk about them when we get into some of the details.
Okay.
We're probably not going to get into too many of the details, but I just thought there were a couple of things that reminded me of different things.
Right.
Also, I had wanted to say that in the past, we had done a review on the Eternals based on the first trailer.
Yes.
And we had decided not go to the movies to see.
Yeah.
Well, the final trailer they showed, as a matter of fact, at my theater, that was the only thing we saw.
Okay.
Because they had a problem with the film itself or getting it started, the projector, I don't know. Anyways, that particular version, I would say almost it's moved from not to might, maybe, or slight might.
Okay.
I don't know. It had a couple of interesting action scenes in there.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, it kind of did entice you a little bit. Okay. But I wasn't even there to think about the Eternals, but
my opinion still has not changed after seeing that. Really, just so you know. I mean, you know,
they did put some excitement in there. You know,
they did certainly, but you know, at the same time, it's one of those things where, again, I have no love for the existing franchise, but then again, I didn't have any love for Shang-Chi or Guardians either, so that is not really a good indicator. But you know, at the end of the day, it's a Jack Kirby thing, right? The Eternals is, and you know, it's he was a very visually distinct artist, and you know, there's a lot of love there when it comes to, you know, some of the story driven stuff that he's done. I don't, you know, I think he needs a partner in crime to kind of really be at his best. And I don't think I don't know if there was a whole lot of co-creation when it came to Eternals. I'm not sure.
Well, that I'm not positive about, but I'm going to do some.
We're not even here talking about the
it.
Eternals, so it just end up going that way.
I know.
They did show on the Saturday screening. They did show the second trailer for Venom. Let There Be Carnage, and my opinion is not changed that movie either. So,
well, we didn't get to see that. So
no. The other one,
I think your mother would have liked it anyways.
Yeah, they did have a new Kingsman movie coming out. So that was a preview there for that. So it's called The King's Man, and it actually is a prequel that takes place during World War One. So
cool. Well, I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But again, I'll have to check out. I didn't get to see that trailer, so I can't say whether it's going to be a movie or just straight go to DVD, to watch it. But
sure.
This Shang-Chi, would you say he's a C character?
Yeah, so let's do that. So let's go ahead and make the spoiler marking here. We're going to talk about the film now. If anybody wants to go see it first, go see it and then come back. If not, whatever. But yeah, so I would say C tier is definitely appropriate. Maybe a little bit less than that, because we talked about Iron Man being kind of like that when we talked about in our Iron Man episode. This guy is definitely not a level below that, because from a historical standpoint, I don't know if we want to get into this a whole lot. I think we'll do a full episode on it once it comes out on DVD. But he was a character introduced in the 70s, very much a part of the genre of Hong Kong films of the day, martial arts craze that happened in the 70s, and he doesn't really come back into his own till much later in the Marvel universe. He's part of the Heroes for Hire team in the 2000s during the Civil War era, the first one.
Yeah.
And his father, totally different than the comics as well. So his father is the Mandarin in this film, but not like any Mandarin in the Marvel Comics universe. Very different.
Yes. Well, like you said, his first appearance was in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he actually got his own comic book in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But Stan Lee, and we know his, like, the kind of guy he is.
Sure.
He originally had wanted to do something based on the TV series Kung Fu.
Yeah. That was the idea. They couldn't get the license though.
Right, they couldn't. But I just picture Stan Lee and his voice. We could really take advantage of this martial arts thing that's out on the television right now. I could just see it,
Sure. Yeah.
Him getting so excited about it. As soon as I researched that and saw that, I was like, yeah, that's a Stan Lee thing. I could see that.
Could be, yeah. Although he wasn't directly responsible for creating the character.
No, and not at all. And they did wind up working out a deal with the guy that wrote the villain Fu Manchu.
Yeah, Sax Rohmer.
Yeah, so I think that's where they based the father on.
A little bit.
Because he was a villain.
Well, yeah, but he was more like a, obviously he comes from the pulps, the Fu Manchu character as this, Asian super, villain. If those were more like spy novels and, British secret agents and stuff like that, facing off against this, mastermind from China. So, I mean,
right.
it's not a one-to-one correlation with either the Mandarin or Fu Manchu. It's almost like a weird amalgamation of the two, and then the rings are completely different than the comics.
Yes,
so
they are. Yes,
it's very different. And I don't think the Mandarin had a crime organization called the Ten Rings, not in the beginning at least. So that's a new thing. I mean, that was obviously introduced way back in Iron Man 1 as the terrorist group that kidnaps Tony Stark in Afghanistan. And I was trying to see if I could figure out the timeline right, because
it's definitely Phase 4. It's after Endgame.
No, not. The thing is, though, that the film has 3 distinct time periods that it covers.
That's true. That is true.
In the beginning is 1996, where Mandarin meets Shang-Chi's mother.
Right.
And then there's a time where Shang-Chi is 14 and he sends him off on his first mission.
Yes.
And then we have present day, which takes place right after, essentially after Endgame / Far From Home.
Right. Which it's kind of, before we get into any details, I do want to say that the choreography was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
From beginning to end, you kind of had a callback from the first scene between his father and mother.
Yep.
And then at the end with him and his father.
Yeah.
And it was done real well. It was almost an identical version of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's the martial arts in here is a subgenre called wuxia. In the kung fu film scene, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, very exaggerated. Some people call it wire fu, where like you do like these exaggerated moves and things like that, things you couldn't normally do in real life. So, for that kind of film, I mean, the fight, like you said, the choreography is fantastic, and lots of really cool backdrops with some of the fight scenes, particularly when they go to Macau, when they are fighting in Ta Lo. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yes. Oh, definitely. That, and also the special effects that they did with the scenery.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
With the bamboo trees.
Oh, yeah. That was really cool.
Yes. And I thought you looked at that and you almost thought in your mind, if you didn't know, you'd be like, wow, that is so cool how they got all those trees to move the same way.
Sure.
I mean, it looks so real. They did such a good job of it.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so that still, I think we haven't given away any spoilers. So
not really
as of yet.
Yeah, and there are some pretty big spoilers in this film that I was not expecting. It wasn't in any of the promotional material, and I was completely caught off guard when they reintroduced characters that were in the previous films, and I was like, just blown away.
Oh yes, you mean like Wong?
No, Wong and Abomination were in the in one of the previews, so I knew they were there. It was a certain character from Iron Man 3 that showed up, and I was
Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, so that to me, I think, was Marvel Studios' way of saying, we get it, you guys didn't like the Mandarin, we're gonna make it better, this is how we make it better.
And it worked. It actually worked really well.
It did. I that was one for me. That was one of the low points in the Iron Man movies for me, was that reveal was kind of a very disappointing thing, and that it was just really stupid. But then they brought him back for this film as an
actor,
an actor.
Yes,
this is all the performance.
Yes, and you know what I loved about that, when we got ready to leave, and your mom goes, Ben Kingsley, where was he in the? I said, Mom, really? Come on, oh yeah. But he did such a good job playing that part as that person.
Yeah.
But I almost have to say, and this is maybe for me a spoiler,
Okay.
Mandarin
Yeah.
/ Meowth.
Are you talking about the little furry creature Morris?
Well, Meowth is, I'm counting him as Meowth because he understood Morris.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Right. He could talk to him, right?
Yeah.
Which I have to say that when they got to Talo,
Yeah.
that was definitely for me a Pokemon moment.
Oh yeah, all the different creatures.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, that's the
definitely.
boy said the same thing with all the nine-tailed foxes. You're like, oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So
And
yeah,
that's
totally.
exactly what I saw. I saw it. I said, nine-tailed. And
Well,
then
yeah, I mean, that's the thing about it, obviously
I
Pokemon
wonder
being
if it was an homage to that.
it is so obviously Pokemon being a Japanese franchise, they're taking inspiration from other mythical creatures in the geographic areas. Obviously, it's Japanese, not Chinese, but
right.
The myth of the Chinese nine-tailed fox, and the nine-tailed fox actually shows up in another manga series that I'm following right now. So it's one of those things. So it's fine.
Oh yeah, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
Anyway.
I am getting heavily into Pokemon now. But and not to detract from what we saw in this film.
Sure.
I am going to have to say that all of those characters,
yeah,
and including the dragons,
really
were
cool.
done real well. And that, to me, the dragons fighting, that was like an homage to Godzilla.
Yeah, it's kind of kaiju.
Right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Not so much as Suicide Squad. That was definitely more kaiju.
Oh, no question about that. But you are absolutely right there. This,
but yeah, it was really
actually
cool,
done a lot better than.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that was really cool, and I think the story is also very interesting as well, because we've talked about how a lot of these Marvel movies talk about family dynamics and things like that, and at the heart of the story, that's really what it's all about. It's about a father trying to, he becomes obsessed because he lost his wife. How you could easily, if you lose somebody, important to you, could easily push the others loved ones around you away, and that could end up ruining you. At the end, that's what ends up happening.
Well, that's what I thought about it. The family dynamics were very strong from the first battle, mother and father.
Yeah.
Both of them gave up everything
for
love.
Yeah.
He is at that point when they had their battle. He had already lived for, according to them, thousands of years.
8,000.
Right? 8,000 years or whatever.
1,000 years.
All right. But so here he is, and she is also somebody of eternal, right? Or no?
It doesn't
really, it doesn't specify.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because if you remember when they go to when he gets to Talo, and Gung Bao, who is the old guy at the village, starts telling him to go away, and he's like, don't talk to me that way, young man. Right. Yes. So it makes me think that they age the same as humans do. So
okay, well, we could go that route. But like I said, I thought that they both gave it all up for their love of each other.
They did.
She gave up a life of serenity and peace. There was really nothing. And her powers, right? To be with him, and he gave up the 10 rings.
He did.
And there was this part in there where the father said to Shang-Chi that your mother said that I could change. and I thought I could, but I couldn't. Because, you know, I can remember our pastor saying that if something were to happen to his wife or children, he doesn't know how he would react to that situation.
Yeah.
How his father reacted is he put the rings back on, and he decided he was going to teach his children how to become killers.
Right. It becomes a revenge story at that point. You know, he talks
Yes.
about blood for blood, you know, and, you know, it's funny. We're going through Romans 5 at church today. So it's talked about that as well. How, you know, without blood, you know, you can't, there's no payment. So, you know, that's really what it boils down to. And I'm trying to think, with the exception of Peter Quill's real father, we haven't had another father that was just a bad guy, you know. I can't think of another one. So that's an interesting dynamic.
No, I would agree with that.
So.
Yes, he was flat out bad guy. And spoiler alert, father sends him out to kill his mother's killer.
Right.
And we get in this story, or we are led to believe that he left because he couldn't do it.
Right.
But we later find out that no, he did do it.
Yeah.
And he just changed his life because he wanted to forget about what he had done.
Right.
So, you know, you don't often get a story where the hero has done something murderous, you know,
sure,
out of revenge.
Right.
And but he did pay retribution, maybe. I don't know how you could say that, but I thought that this whole story was entertaining from beginning to end. I didn't find really many spaces that were, you know, dead spots.
No.
How about you?
Anything? No, and I've watched it twice, so obviously it kept me entertained the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. We also have to mention the character of Katie, played by Awkwafina. She's the comic relief in this film, and she's genuinely really, really funny the whole time.
Oh yes, I had laughed. I can't tell you how many times I laughed with that. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially when she thinks that he's a nobody. He just a car hop or whatever
ballet.
Yeah, ballet.
So, but in the thing that's helpful about a character like that is because, you know, these movies are fantastical by nature, or at least they've gotten that way. They weren't always that way. You can make the case for that. But like, it is so fantastical and crazy that, you know, you need to have somebody kind of stating the obvious. Hey, this is insane, right? What's going on right now?
Yes, yes.
So, it's like when they get to the fight club in Macau, and she's walking by that one guy. Hey, I like your spike face, you know. And the guy's like, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, how about and also the where was the part where they had called him busboy?
Mm-hmm.
He's busboy, look, you know. And she's comes up with, she was great at her part, you know.
Yeah.
You know, hey, come on, we're gonna go outside on this scaffolding, you know. And she had some line, or when she was in Tung Lao, is it Lao 2? I got
Lao.
Yes, thank you. And she's learning to shoot a bow.
Yeah.
She goes, aim for the throat. Yeah. Like I just started shooting yesterday. Like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of spots in there that were great. And her driving.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely fun. Yeah, we're not going to get this thing scratched. We're not going to go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great all around. And the family dynamic with her family was really good, you know?
Yeah. It was, it's one of those things where And I think this is the first time that they've had a romantic interest that where they kind of stayed like it was really understated. It wasn't like a big focus of the film. It's really interesting. Like it's almost like I don't know. I liked it a lot. I think they played it really well. Yeah, I think they did a great job with that.
Yes. Well, see, I think that it left you guessing.
Yeah.
Where's this going to go?
Yeah, sure.
What direction is this going to go in?
Yeah.
Which it's happened in a few different TV series.
Sure.
That they've done where it took like the whole season to find out what direction they were going to go in, but you were teased all along.
Yeah.
In one way or another, or switch. It was kind of the same throughout this movie.
Yeah.
But you never ever thought that they were going to get together other than friends.
Yeah.
You felt that way. And you felt like they really weren't even thinking of that, of a romantic thing, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Another thing that I thought was interesting too is when they went to dinner. That was actually, they went a couple of times in the beginning and at the end.
Right.
But that whole dialogue there was interesting. Was that her sister or was that?
I think it's just a friend of theirs.
Just a friend?
Yeah.
Or maybe an ex-co-worker that they used to work at the same place or something.
They were friends in high school because they were telling the story about how she went joyriding in the bully's car, and that the other girl was in the back seat with them.
Oh, so. That's right. That's right. You're right. But what I saw there was her telling of the story. That right there showed you after Endgames and after Spider-Man.
Right.
Because she started talking about you need to be more serious because 50% of the people could go at any time. So she was probably a percentage of people that feared what had happened of everybody coming back. She might have been a person that went away and then came back, and so having the fear that she might again be, taken away, so I know it was just a different kind of perspective of what happened after Endgames, I think.
Okay.
Hey, you don't think about those things.
Sure.
Just like in the Batman v Superman, we got a picture of people that were not, you see all the destruction and everything, but you don't get to see the people behind it.
Yeah.
So there was just a little bit of that. So it was kind of a similar type situation, I think.
Oh.
It's nowhere near Batman v Superman.
No, it's just funny when anybody mentions Batman v Superman, I just think about the Martha. I have to say Martha. That's where I always go that way. It's just like I don't know. I think they made fun of that in Teen Titans Go.
Yes.
Just say his mom's name, you'll be fine, or whatever. It's
yes. I remember that.
Anyway.
Okay, so let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. So they also introduced some henchmen as well. So they had Razor Fist.
Yes.
And I forget the other person's name. I don't think they actually say his name, but it's the guy with
they don't. Mask. With a painted face.
Yeah. I think Death Dealer is the name of the character, if I remember correctly. I don't know. But anyway, those are also characters from Shang-Chi. In fact, Razor Fist in the comics, at least the first iteration of Razor Fist, had two Razor Fists, which would probably make life pretty difficult for that individual. But anyway, I did like the fact that they stole his car, and his car looked ridiculous.
Yes, definitely.
That was funny. That was really funny. It was a nice touch.
Yes, and the satire of that was that it was an electric car.
Yeah, it was. It
So
was.
here you're thinking about this, souped up thing. You think it's going to have this big, massive Boss Hemi engine or whatever.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's an
Yeah.
electric car,
Yeah. Yep. It is.
So it was kind of a little satire there too.
Sure.
And I loved it that that's the car that they took.
Right.
Kowloon, know?
Yeah.
And you saw in the front, there were like teeth on it.
Right. Yeah.
So it could almost be a Pokemon car,
Oh, okay.
What can I say?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
So
yeah.
It was kind of, I thought, oh, wow, this is okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what did you think of his costume?
I liked it a lot. It's so the original Shang-Chi had kind of like a red gi, and that's pretty much it. This one, obviously the dragon scale armor, pretty cool looking. The also the armor they gave to Xu Xiaolin, his sister, was also pretty cool. The gray armor, and obviously the fight scene at the end with the 10 rings was pretty cool.
Oh yes, no question.
Yeah.
I thought it was from beginning to end, it was a really entertaining movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to already say to go see.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Now the only thing that bothered me was the teasers at the end.
Okay. All right. Let's go there. All right.
Yeah. We've seen in this movie Abomination.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I expected when we got the first teaser, we got Captain Marvel and we got Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
And after Endgame, wasn't he Hulk?
Yes, Smart Hulk.
Yeah. So it didn't look like Smart Hulk to me.
So something happened, obviously, and he has a broken arm still. So I don't know if it's still from the snap or something else happened. Who knows?
Well, that kind of we got that actually that was kind of a little bit after they left the second time at the dinner with their friends.
Yeah.
And when she's saying, you're mocking me, you're just making fun of me with this magic and stuff. And then they walk through.
Right.
And my thought was, where's Dr. Strange?
Well, he was where Wong was in Camartage. So, obviously the sanctum in Camartage is different than the sanctum in New York. So I'm assuming that Dr. Strange is in the sanctum in New York.
Okay. It's a good assumption.
Yeah. There's something in the background where, so at the Fight Club, after Abomination and Wong are finished fighting, he opens up a portal and has them go through. There's something in the background there that almost looks like the Hulk cell in Avengers on the helicarrier, where they kept Loki in. You remember that?
Right. Yes.
So it looks like there was something like that there. I couldn't really pick out what it was, but I'm wondering if that's a hint at what's going on there, because that's something different. And Wong's relationship with Abomination was almost like a teacher-student, like a paternalistic type of thing. So
yes,
obviously there's been some rehabilitation there for Blonsky. So it'll be interesting to see if if that ends up going a little bit further than we think.
Right. Well, you got that part where Wong says to him, if we did the choreography right, maybe the hit wouldn't be so hard,
Right.
Yeah. Which I'm thinking, he's going there, he's making money, and he's not really fighting for real,
Right.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But again, at the end,
yeah,
they look at the rings and they decide that the rings are a lot older than what they think?
They're a lot older, and after the rings got transferred to Shang-Chi, it's sending out a message somewhere. That's the other part.
Right.
Now that does lend itself to the canonical 10 rings from the Mandarin, in that was alien technology that he found on a ship with I forget the name of the creatures or the alien race, but basically it's a alien race of like dragon-like humanoid creatures, like Fing Fang Foom is one of them.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that is what they're talking about, or if it's something completely different.
Well, see, that part I really didn't have too much of a problem with.
Okay.
I just didn't know where they were going with the second teaser.
Okay, at the end. So here's the theory that I saw about it. So obviously, after all of the credits, there's a second teaser with Xu Xiaolin. She is resuming, instead of dismantling the organization like Shang-Chi thought she was doing, she's taking the reins and they're getting back to it. And now it's her vision of the 10 rings having,
women and men.
So that was the big thing. And at the very end, it says the 10 rings will return. So the thought is that the 10 rings is going to be the organization that both U.S. agent and Yelena Belova are going to take on in the future.
Well,
that's somebody's theory.
Well, that's an interesting theory.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Well, I kind of thought that the building where they were at kind of looked like the building from Black Widow.
Maybe.
It looked very similar to the one where they pulled the escape for their father. It looked very similar to that building.
Okay.
Other than that, they had a lot of graffiti on this building.
But that building was completely buried in an avalanche back in, Civil War time, that time period. So
yes,
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I don't know if they got cheap at the end and just used a similar type building, but I, who cannot wait for this one and Black Widow to come out on DVD, I'll revisit that at that time.
Yeah, we'll do a full episode on both of these when they come out, and kind of give it the MCU treatment that we normally give them.
Absolutely, and I'll be looking forward to that too.
Yeah,
as I said, definitely a go see for me.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%.
And anything else you want to talk about the movie?
I think that's it. I mean, we have 2 more MCU films that are coming out this year. So, I think it's a little too early to say that this was the best one. But it's up there. It's up there.
Wait a minute. Is the Eternals MCU?
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely going to be better than that.
Right. But also No Way Home is in December. So
that is the one that I might have to that's going to probably be the one to fight for first.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yes, definitely. And Venom's not MCU, so we don't have to worry about that one.
No.
And Black Widow, although it was very good, this was better, I think.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. It's nothing to do with the this movie just had more going for it. It's something that's not, we know what the stakes were. What the stakes were in Black Widow because it takes place in the past, right?
Correct.
Whereas, you don't know what's going on. This is, you don't know what the fate is going to be of any of these characters because it's a film that takes place in the present. So,
right. And I'm going to have to say that the Black Widow one took place in the past to set up the future.
Yeah, I agree.
So it left a lot of directions that it could go into.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, we just know the 10 rings will return.
Yep.
And we don't know how or why. We don't know how it's going to develop, but I'm looking forward to it.
Sure.
Whichever way that it is.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
I did like the way that they ended the mid credits sequence with them, with Wong saying, you should get some rest. You have a long journey ahead of you. And they're like, yeah, we could do that. Or
yes. On a dark desert highway.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
That was without a doubt the best. And that was actually the third call for that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So, and it did not work the second time.
Yeah. Right.
But I thought it was great. Definitely.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, good.
All right. Let's wrap it up there then.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Well, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of Pop's Collection. We're going to see you next week at the brand new episode. And if you have any feedback, feel free to reach out to us via Facebook or Twitter. And until next time, goodbye and God bless.
Goodbye. God bless. Tell your friends.